Welcome back, everyone, to another exciting episode of the English Hour. I'm your host, Sophia, and today, I'm joined once again by our guest, Jacob.
Hey everyone, I'm so happy to be back, Sophia. We've got a really fun episode planned today.
Absolutely, today, we're going to talk about a really important topic for anyone learning English: how to improve your speaking fluency.
That's a big one. Speaking fluently is often what people struggle with the most when learning a new language, right?
It's true. You can learn tons of vocabulary and grammar, but if you can't speak confidently or smoothly, it can feel like a big challenge.
And that's exactly why we're here today, to give our listeners some practical tips to improve their speaking fluency.
Let's dive into it. The first tip I always recommend is to practice speaking every day. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a huge difference.
Totally. The more you practice, the more comfortable you get with speaking. It's like anything else, muscles get stronger the more you use them.
So true. And one way to practice is by talking to yourself. I know it sounds strange, but it works wonders.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't need a conversation partner to practice. You can practice by describing what you're doing, talking about your day, or even reading out loud.
Exactly. You can also try recording yourself. It helps you hear what you sound like and gives you a chance to spot any areas where you need improvement.
It's a great way to self-correct. And don't worry about making mistakes, just focus on speaking clearly and naturally.
Speaking of mistakes, another tip I have is to embrace making mistakes. So many learners are afraid of sounding incorrect. But making mistakes is part of the process.
100%, it's how we learn. Every mistake is an opportunity to improve. And the more you practice speaking, the fewer mistakes you'll make over time.
Exactly. So, be patient with yourself and keep speaking. Even if you make mistakes, you're still moving forward.
Right? And a great way to practice in real-world situations is by finding language exchange partners. There are tons of websites and apps where you can connect with native speakers who want to practice your language in exchange for helping you with English.
Yes, that's a fantastic tip. Practicing with real people not only helps with fluency, but also improves your confidence in speaking. You get used to speaking in different situations and with different accents.
Exactly. And it's fun, too. It feels like a real conversation, not just a language drill.
Another fun way to improve fluency is by shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker, like from a podcast or a YouTube video, and repeating what they say. Trying to copy their pronunciation and intonation.
That's a brilliant technique. It helps with pronunciation, rhythm, and sounding more natural.
Plus, it's an easy way to practice even when you're busy. Just put on a podcast while you're cleaning, walking, or cooking, and repeat the sentences you hear.
And don't just repeat the words, pay attention to how the speaker says things. The speed, the tone, the pauses. It's about sounding natural, not robotic.
Right. It's important to copy how people actually speak in real life, not just textbook language.
Another tip that I find useful is to use fillers while speaking. Words like, well, or actually, can give you a moment to think while still sounding natural.
Oh, that's a great point. Fillers help you sound more relaxed, and they also give you time to gather your thoughts. Just don't overuse them.
Right? It's all about balance. You want to sound natural, but also not to rely too heavily on fillers.
One more tip I'll share is to speak slowly if you need to. A lot of learners try to speak too fast because they're nervous, but speaking slowly gives you more time to think and organize your ideas.
That's so important. You don't need to rush. Speaking clearly is far more important than speaking fast.
Exactly. Plus, speaking at a natural pace will help your listeners understand you better.
Another thing that's incredibly helpful is thinking in English. This sounds like a big step, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes.
Yes, if you can train your mind to think in English instead of translating from your native language, it'll make your speaking much smoother.
Start by thinking about simple things like what you're going to have for dinner or what you need to do later. This builds the habit of thinking in English rather than translating from your first language.
And remember, you're aiming for fluency, not perfection. If you keep practicing, it'll get easier to express yourself naturally.
Exactly. Fluency comes with time, and every bit of practice is a step in the right direction.
So, to wrap up, the key to improving your speaking fluency is to practice regularly, embrace mistakes, and speak as much as you can.
And don't forget to listen and shadow native speakers. All these tips will help you build confidence and speak more naturally.
Keep challenging yourself, and most importantly, have fun with it. The more fun you have, the more motivated you'll be to keep going.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope these tips help you on your journey to speaking English more fluently.
Don't forget to practice every day, and keep pushing yourself to improve. We'll see you next time on the English Hour. Before we finish today, Jacob, I think we should talk about a challenge that many learners face: staying motivated.
Oh, definitely, motivation can be tricky. At first, it's exciting, but after a while, it can feel like you're not progressing as quickly as you want.
Exactly. It's easy to lose steam, especially if you hit a plateau. But there are a few things you can do to keep that motivation alive.
One thing I recommend is setting small, achievable goals. Instead of focusing on, I want to be fluent, try breaking it down to, I want to learn 10 new words this week, or I want to have a 5-minute conversation in English.
I love that. By achieving small goals, you get a sense of progress, and that boosts your motivation. It's about building momentum, one step at a time.
Exactly, and celebrating those small wins along the way is so important. Give yourself a little reward after hitting a goal. It could be as simple as treating yourself to something you enjoy.
Oh, I agree. Those rewards really make a difference. It helps remind you that all your hard work is paying off.
Another great way to stay motivated is by connecting with a learning community. Being part of a group, whether it's online or in person, can keep you inspired. You'll see others making progress, and that pushes you to keep going too.
Absolutely. Being around people who are also learning English helps you stay accountable, and it's great for motivation. Plus, you can share tips and challenges, and support each other along the way.
You can even create a study group or join a challenge. For example, you could challenge yourself to speak only in English for an entire day or join a language learning app where you compete with others.
That sounds like a lot of fun, and the competition aspect can make it exciting and push you to keep improving.
One more thing is to remember why you started in the first place. Go back to your reasons for learning English, whether it's for travel, work, or personal growth, and let that drive you.
That's such an important point. If you can keep your why front and center, it helps you push through those tough days when you don't feel like practicing.
Exactly. Motivation will fluctuate, but if you stay focused on your goals and remember why you're learning, it'll help you get through those slumps.
And sometimes, when you're feeling unmotivated, it's okay to take a short break. Give yourself permission to rest, and then come back refreshed.
Yes, rest is just as important as practice. It helps your brain absorb everything you've learned and gives you a mental reset.
So, to sum up, set small goals, join a learning community, celebrate your wins, stay focused on your why, and don't be afraid to take breaks when needed.
Keep going even on the tough days. Motivation comes and goes, but consistency is key to your long-term success.
Well said, Jacob. And to all our listeners, we hope these tips help you stay motivated and continue making progress with your English. Keep practicing. And remember, you've got this.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back soon with more tips and conversations to help you improve your English.
Take care, and remember to keep learning and growing every day. We'll see you in the next episode of the English Hour. Before we wrap up today's episode, Jacob, I want to touch on something that's really important for English learners: building confidence.
Yes, confidence is key when it comes to speaking any language, especially English. A lot of people hesitate to speak because they're worried about making mistakes or sounding silly.
It's such a common challenge, but I always tell my students that the most important thing is just speaking. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Absolutely. And remember, no one speaks perfectly all the time. Native speakers make mistakes too. So, it's okay if you make them. The goal is to communicate, not to be perfect.
Exactly. So, how do we build that confidence? One simple way is to start small. Begin by speaking in low-pressure environments. Maybe just with friends or family who are supportive.
I couldn't agree more. Speaking to a group or in front of strangers can be intimidating, but starting with people who encourage you can make all the difference.
Another great way is to prepare before speaking. If you're having a conversation, try thinking of a few phrases or vocabulary words you might use. That'll help you feel more ready.
And when you practice, make sure to focus on what you can say, uh, not what you can't. It's easy to get stuck thinking about the words you don't know, but it's much more powerful to focus on what you do know.
That's such an important point. Confidence comes from knowing that you can express yourself, even if it's not in the perfect way. The more you focus on your strengths, the stronger your confidence will grow.
And as we've mentioned before, mistakes are part of the journey. The key is to keep going and learn from them, not to get discouraged.
One technique that works for many people is to visualize success. Before speaking, try to picture yourself speaking fluently and confidently. Visualization is a powerful tool to help reduce anxiety.
That's a fantastic tip. Visualizing yourself succeeding makes the actual speaking feel much less scary. And remember, your confidence will grow the more you practice.
Absolutely. And when you do speak, make sure to speak slowly and clearly. This makes you sound more confident and allows others to understand you better.
Right? It's not about how fast you speak, but how clearly. And when you take your time, you give yourself space to think, which also helps your confidence.
So, to build confidence, start small, focus on what you can do, embrace mistakes, visualize success, and speak slowly and clearly.
And remember, the more you practice, the more confident you'll become. So keep going. Don't let fear hold you back from speaking.
That's right, Jacob. Confidence comes from practice. And every conversation you have, no matter how small, is a step in the right direction.
Exactly. And we want all of our listeners to remember that they're not alone in this journey. We're all in it together.
So, if you're feeling nervous, take a deep breath and just start speaking. The more you practice, the more your confidence will grow.
We're always here to help you along the way. Keep speaking, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.
Thank you so much for listening today. We hope these tips help you build your speaking confidence and continue your journey to mastering English.
And as always, we'll be back soon with more episodes to keep you motivated and on track.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep shining with your English skills. See you in the next episode of the English Hour. Before we wrap up, Jacob, I want to talk about one more important topic that can really help our listeners in their English journey: overcoming the fear of speaking in public.
Oh, that's such a big one. Many learners struggle with speaking in front of a group because they're worried about making mistakes, forgetting words, or being judged.
Yes, the fear of judgment can be paralyzing. But here's the truth: no one is perfect, and everyone has been where you are right now. Even native speakers feel nervous sometimes.
Exactly. I think the key is to realize that most people are not paying as much attention to your mistakes as you think they are. They're focused on the message, not the delivery.
That's such an important point. You don't have to be flawless to be understood or make an impact. The most important thing is getting your message across clearly.
Right? And remember, the more you speak, the more comfortable you'll feel. It's like any other skill, it gets easier with practice.
Absolutely. One thing that can really help is to practice in front of a mirror. It might feel a little silly at first, but it's a great way to get used to hearing yourself speak and improve your confidence.
That's a great tip. You can also record yourself speaking. Listening to yourself can help you catch areas for improvement, and over time, you'll become more comfortable with your voice.
Another helpful strategy is to prepare for the situation. If you know you're going to speak in front of a group, try rehearsing what you want to say in advance. This will give you a sense of control and help you feel more confident.
Preparation is key. If you're familiar with the content you're about to speak about, it takes away a lot of the pressure. And don't be afraid to take notes or outlines with you either.
Exactly. It's okay to have a little reminder with you. It doesn't mean you're unprepared, it's just a way to stay focused and organized.
And if you ever feel nervous, take a moment to breathe. Deep breathing helps calm your nerves and gives you that extra confidence to speak clearly.
Yes, deep breathing is so effective. It slows down your heart rate and helps you stay focused. It's such a simple trick, but it works wonders.
So, to summarize, the fear of public speaking is normal, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. Rehearse, prepare, and give yourself the freedom to make mistakes.
Exactly, and don't forget to breathe deeply and focus on getting your message across. It's all about communication, not perfection.
That's right. The more you push through that fear, the more natural speaking in front of others will become. So keep practicing, and don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
I think that's such a great note to end on. Remember, everyone starts somewhere, and the most important thing is to keep going. You've got this.
Keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep pushing yourself. You'll be amazed at how much progress you'll make.
Thank you so much for listening today. We hope these tips help you overcome your fear of speaking in public and continue making progress on your English journey.
And don't forget, we're here to support you every step of the way. We'll be back with more helpful tips and motivational advice soon.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep practicing your English. We'll see you in the next episode of the English Hour. Before we finish up today, Jacob, let's talk about something else that many learners often overlook: the importance of listening.
That's a great topic. Listening is such a crucial part of language learning, but sometimes people get so focused on speaking or writing that they forget to give enough attention to it.
Right, and the truth is, listening helps you understand the language better. It's not just about hearing words, it's about processing them and getting used to the rhythm and flow of the language.
Exactly. When you listen actively, you start to pick up on things like pronunciation, intonation, and even slang that you wouldn't normally catch if you weren't paying close attention.
One of the best ways to improve your listening is to immerse yourself in English as much as possible. Watch movies, listen to podcasts, or even try listening to music in English. It's a fun way to get used to the language.
That's true. I know many learners who find that watching TV shows or movies with subtitles helps a lot. You hear the language and see it written at the same time. It reinforces what you're learning.
Absolutely, and you don't have to start with something too difficult. Even children's shows or beginner podcasts can be a great way to ease into it. As you get more comfortable, you can move on to more advanced content.
I also recommend trying shadowing as a listening exercise. This means listening to a short segment of audio and then repeating exactly what you hear. It helps with both listening and speaking skills.
Yes, shadowing is such a powerful technique. It forces you to really focus on the sounds, and it improves your pronunciation too.
Another great tip is to listen to different accents of English. Not all English speakers sound the same, and getting used to various accents will help you understand a wider range of speakers.
That's so important. English is spoken all over the world, and there are so many different accents. Getting exposed to them will help you feel more confident when you encounter them.
And let's not forget about listening for context. Sometimes, even if you don't understand every word, you can figure out the meaning from the context. It's like a puzzle.
Yes, being able to guess the meaning of unfamiliar words based on context is a skill that improves with practice. The more you listen, the easier it becomes to infer meanings without needing to understand every single word.
That's such a good point. So, to wrap up, remember that listening is just as important as speaking. Make time for it every day. Whether you're watching something, listening to music, or having a conversation.
Exactly. And try mixing up your listening activities to keep it interesting. The more you listen, the more comfortable you'll become with understanding English in real world situations.
And don't forget to practice active listening. Focus on what you hear and really pay attention to the details.
That's right. The more you immerse yourself in English, the faster your skills will improve. Keep listening, and you'll be amazed at how much progress you'll make.
Absolutely. Keep challenging yourself, and you'll soon find that understanding English in different contexts becomes second nature.
Thanks so much for listening today, everyone. We hope these listening tips help you on your journey to mastering English.
We'll be back soon with more advice to keep you motivated and improving. Until then, keep listening, keep practicing, and keep learning.
See you in the next episode of the English Hour. Jacob, one last thing before we wrap up. Let's talk about staying motivated when learning English. It's easy to feel discouraged when you're not seeing progress as quickly as you'd like.
That's a big challenge for many learners. The key is to remember that language learning is a marathon, not a sprint. It's okay if you don't see results immediately. What matters is the effort you put in each day.
Absolutely, it's important to focus on the small wins. Every new word you learn, every conversation you have, is a step forward. Those small wins add up over time.
Exactly. Sometimes you might feel like you're not improving, but when you look back at where you started, you'll realize just how far you've come.
That's such a great point. I always encourage my students to keep a language journal. Write down new words or phrases you've learned, or reflect on how you felt during a conversation. It helps to see your progress over time.
I love that idea. A language journal is like a reminder of all the hard work you've put in. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, especially on days when you feel stuck.
Exactly. And let's not forget about celebrating progress. It doesn't have to be a huge achievement. Even if you had a conversation in English without needing to switch to your native language, that's a victory worth celebrating.
Yes, celebrating those milestones keeps you motivated. Learning English is all about progress, not perfection.
And another great way to stay motivated is to set goals. Start with small, achievable goals like learning 10 new words a week, or watching a movie in English without subtitles. When you achieve those goals, it feels amazing.
That's such a good strategy. Setting specific, measurable goals helps you stay on track and gives you something to look forward to.
Absolutely, and remember, it's okay to adjust your goals along the way. Life can get busy, and some weeks might be harder than others. The important thing is to keep going.
That's so true. Life happens, and some days you might not have time to study. But don't be hard on yourself. Just pick it back up the next day. Consistency is key.
Right? And let's talk about something that helps a lot of people: finding a language partner or community. Having someone to practice with makes learning a lot more fun and less stressful.
Absolutely, language partners are amazing for motivation. You can practice speaking with them, and it's a great way to challenge each other to improve. Plus, it's a great way to make new friends.
Exactly. And even online communities, like language learning groups on social media or forums, can provide the support and encouragement you need.
That's a fantastic point. Being part of a community where everyone is working toward the same goal can keep you motivated. Plus, you get to share tips and experiences, which makes learning a lot more enjoyable.
Absolutely. And let's not forget about self-compassion. There will be days when you feel like giving up, but you have to remind yourself that it's okay to have bad days. It's part of the process.
Yes, be kind to yourself. Learning a new language is challenging, and there will be ups and downs. What matters is that you keep going, even when things feel tough.
Exactly. And think about why you started learning English in the first place. Whether it's for personal growth, travel, or career opportunities, keeping your reasons in mind can reignite your motivation when it starts to fade.
That's powerful advice. Sometimes looking back at the bigger picture helps remind you of the why behind your journey. And that's enough to keep you going.
Right. And I also encourage my students to reward themselves for their efforts. Maybe after achieving a goal, you treat yourself to something you enjoy. It adds a little fun to the process.
I love that rewards make the journey more enjoyable. It's like giving yourself a little pat on the back for all your hard work.
So, to sum it up, remember to celebrate small wins, set realistic goals, join a community, be kind to yourself, and reward your progress.
And never forget language learning is a process. It takes time, but every day you make progress, even if it doesn't always feel like it.
Exactly, keep practicing, stay consistent, and don't be afraid to take breaks when you need them. Just keep going, and you'll get there.
And don't forget to have fun along the way. Learning English doesn't have to be a chore. Make it enjoyable, and you'll stay motivated.
That's such a great point, Jacob. Thanks again for being with us today, and thank you to everyone who's listening. We hope this episode gave you some ideas on how to stay motivated and keep learning.
It was a pleasure to be here, Sophia. And I hope our listeners feel inspired to keep going, keep pushing forward, and remember that you're not alone in this journey.
Absolutely. You're doing amazing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. Keep up the great work, and we'll see you next time.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep practicing English. You've got this.
See you soon, everyone, in the next episode of the English Hour. Jacob. Before we go, let's dive into a topic that's often overlooked, but can make a big difference in language learning: the power of mistakes.
Oh, I love this one. Too often, people are afraid of making mistakes in English. They think it's something to avoid at all costs. But that's actually the wrong approach.
Exactly. Mistakes are such a valuable part of learning. Every time you make a mistake, you're actually learning something new. It's a sign that you're pushing yourself and stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Absolutely. And the key is to embrace your mistakes, not to shy away from them. They help you grow and improve faster. The more you make, the more you learn.
I couldn't agree more. It's like a natural part of the process. For example, think about a baby learning to speak. They make tons of mistakes before they master the language. And that's totally okay.
Yes, and as adults, we need to remember that we don't have to be perfect. It's about communicating and getting better each day. The more mistakes we make, the better we understand the language.
One thing I always tell my students is that it's okay to make mistakes in front of others. It can feel embarrassing at first, but once you get over that fear, you'll notice that you're more confident in your speaking.
Exactly, and the people you're speaking with will probably appreciate the effort. Most people will help you correct your mistakes, and they'll admire your willingness to learn.
That's a great point. And when it comes to making mistakes, it's important to not be too hard on yourself. If you make a mistake, laugh it off and keep going. Don't let it stop you from speaking.
Right? I think the biggest barrier is the fear of being judged. But when you realize that everyone makes mistakes and that it's actually a good thing, it becomes easier to take risks and experiment with the language.
Absolutely. And here's a fun idea: why not celebrate your mistakes? Think of each mistake as a little victory, because it means you've tried something new and learned something in the process.
That's such a positive way to look at it. If you can laugh at your mistakes and move forward, you'll be much more relaxed when speaking. You'll also make faster progress because you're not afraid of failure.
Yes, and let's not forget about learning from those mistakes. Keep a notebook of common errors you make and review it regularly. This way, you can track your progress and make fewer mistakes over time.
That's a great strategy. By identifying patterns in your mistakes, you can address them and ensure you don't repeat them too often. It's all about improvement, not perfection.
Absolutely. And remember, every mistake is an opportunity. It's a chance to improve, to get closer to fluency. And the more you embrace this mindset, the faster you'll learn.
So, to wrap it up, let's remind everyone mistakes are not the enemy. They are a crucial part of your language learning journey. Embrace them, learn from them, and keep going.
That's right. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They're a sign that you're actively learning and improving. Keep making those mistakes, and you'll soon see amazing progress.
Exactly, keep moving forward. And remember that it's the journey that matters, not just the destination. Enjoy the process, mistakes and all.
Thanks so much for listening. Everyone, we hope today's episode helped you feel more confident about making mistakes and using them to improve.
And as always, keep practicing, keep experimenting with your English, and keep learning. We'll see you next time.
Until then, take care and keep improving. We'll be back soon with more tips and advice to help you on your journey. See you next time on the English Hour.